AI is moving fast, and it's faster than most industries can keep up. And especially for engineers, this isn't just a challenge. This is, I think, a revolution. Now, to help us understand what's happening and where it's headed, I'm speaking with Mary Ann Freeman. She's the Senior Director of Engineering for AI and for Data Science at MathWorks. Welcome.
I appreciate the intro, Ronald, and this is such an exciting topic. Engineering design just touches everything we create.
Yeah, and you are an engineer by heart. Can you explain us a little bit more about how AI, and especially generative AI, is changing the role of the engineer?
The role of the engineer, it continues to be about what it always has been. So iterative problem solving with design loops, we often talk about. Now with AI, the engineer's role shifts in innovative ways. So I can describe two ways. So first, the AI can be a component in the resulting design system. So if you think about your typical design loop, you build the design, you use it, you test it, you collect some data, and then you iterate until you get what you want. All of that stays the same for the engineer, but they have the option to use AI models as part of that build engineered system. Now, in the second case, and this requires a little more powerful AI, the engineer doesn't define the solution exactly, but they define the goals and the constraints and the environment for the AI to explore. And then the AI takes over coming up with the solutions, trying them out, collecting more data. And the engineer oversees everything, including redefining goals as needed, validating results. Both cases, you have a design loop. The first one, the AI is a component in the resulting design. And the second one, the AI has a role in exploring within the design loop.
Yeah, and looking at these two type of roles, can you share some examples on one end where AI is built into the system versus when it's used to the design one?
Yes, yes. So we have a great example. It's around Coca-Cola. So they make these freestyle beverage machines. You've probably seen them at a restaurant. You go in, it has all these buttons. You put your cup under it, you press a button, and you get your beverage of choice. Now, part of the control system for these machines involves inputs of water pressure. Turns out, adding hardware to measure that water pressure is pretty expensive. But what they figured out at Coca-Cola is they didn't even need to add that hardware because all the information needed to predict the water pressure was already in the system. So that meant the Coca-Cola engineers, they could train an AI model to predict water pressure from a current feedback signal that they were already measuring for other reasons. And then this meant they could save on hardware costs. They didn't have to retrofit their machines with expensive hardware. And they accomplished their goals with a software update that contained that AI model.
Yeah, so a great example. Now, if you look, let's say, to the traditional models, how does this new AI approach look like in practice if you compare the both of them?
Right, right. So that was kind of the fit the AI model into the design system. And then the other pattern we talked about was, well, what if the AI plays a role in exploring the design? And we saw this at the Max Planck Institute. So that's a prestigious international research institute. So the engineers and scientists there, they had a system of mirrors and lasers that they used to measure gravitational waves to detect large-scale astronomical events like colliding black holes. So super cool, right? And the problem is adjusting all the mirrors because it's so many, very complex, traditionally done manually. So these engineers and scientists, they study the system, they use their knowledge and intuition, and they create and adjust control filters for those mirrors. More recently, as AI was becoming more powerful, they discovered they could use AI in the form of reinforcement learning. So they use that technique to train an agent that helps to adjust and align the key mirrors automatically. So that was the innovation that gave them what they needed to automate the design loop. So they turned the AI, or the reinforcement learning agent, loose on this problem. It explores design alternatives, identifies a solution, and then the engineer works with the AI. So they look at the solution. Oh, okay. I just need to define, see if it's validated. And all the engineer had to do up front was specify the environment, the constraints, and the reward. And then the AI operates within that design space.
Yeah, I think a great example with the reinforcement learning. On the other hand, everybody talks about, of course, generative AI and uses generative AI, especially to support their work. In what ways does generative AI support engineers as well?
Yes. So we talk about this a lot at MathWorks, and you hear, and no doubt many people are using generative AI for coding, but we can go beyond that and use it to help with a lot of day-to-day tasks in engineering. So you can start with getting advice on just the overall plan to tackle an engineering problem, including defining requirements, or to even generate data that you need for your design. You can get helpful explanations of engineering code, maybe some code your colleague shared with you that you don't quite understand. You could use it to create some examples for the design system you're producing. You can use it to verify behavior and even analyze and validate results.
Yeah, basically in every step. And my audience really want to get started with this. So where can my audience learn more about these type of models?
Oh, yeah. So we have a keynote presentation on this topic, and it'll be at our MATLAB Expo event in the UK, in France, and Germany, starting in October. And if those events aren't convenient, we have a worldwide MATLAB Expo. It's online, and it's November 12th and 13th.
Yeah, it's for sure something nobody wants to miss. So we see how AI is really, I believe, reshaping engineering, whether it's from design tools to intelligent systems, and where you said it can augment the engineer basically in every step. So if you're curious and you want to explore more, make sure to check out and to register for MATLAB Expo event, or even go there in the UK or in Germany or in France and start experimenting for yourself. Thank you, Mary Ann, for sharing all these great insights, and I'm really looking forward to your talk as well at MATLAB Expo. And thanks to our audience for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.